Yeah, I think the game was going to be the game that we expected, especially from the off, vociferous, passionate home crowd. Incredible achievement on Saturday by them to get into the playoffs. So we've seen all that. It was obviously a different game on Saturday, so we knew they'd come flying out the traps as well, and they did. So getting through that sort of period was good. Wasn't a massive amount of clear-cut chances from their point of view. They had maybe control of the ball better. We've had a couple of chances, really good chances. Thought we'd got our noses in front with the goal. Not so sure. I've got to say, honestly, I've not really looked at it closely or back. But City says his ball's going in the back of the net. He's not really done anything to sort of hamper anybody. And then, yeah, of course, there is a big turning point in the game. But we knew we'd be good on transition and counter attack. A bit disappointing from Tyrese. I think he should score, and Kiefer should score as well. But to get that first goal away from home and obviously go down to 10 men puts us in a good place.
Yeah, Liam's been in here and said that he thought it was an error from the referee. Is that something you agree with in terms of the penalty and the red card?
I don't think he made an attempt to play the ball. He just dragged him back. And did he mention about the penalty, the two penalties at our place in the last minute?
No.
Listen, it's an emotional game. We from our point of view in the first game, I asked for the observations on two penalties, one on Harrison. They said it's not a penalty, and he said the second one was. So we had to suffer then, dropping 2 big points. So yeah, I understand, but yeah, of course it swings the game in our favour. But then there's still a job to do. What shape they're going to come out at? What's their approach? They sat in. Obviously brought Sinclair, Armstrong onto the pitch. They sat in, and then we had to find those moments and still be diligent in our work defensively. I've got to say, I don't really remember any sort of actions to my right where I thought that they had an opportunity of scoring. Play was to my left. Made a couple of substitutions just to sort of freshen it up, and obviously great goal from Brooksy and Callum getting on the end of something has made it a good night for us. But I think you've seen my attitude before the game, seen my attitude. I respect the game too much, respect the opponents, the manager, their players too much, their football club too much to know that, even at the end, get the players off the pitch. We've got to get back to Sheffield. We've got to recover. We've got to reflect on the game, and we've got a big night ahead of us on Monday night. And we've got to go and do a job, a professional job, like we've done tonight.
I was going to say the celebrations at the end, what like the celebrations, the sort of response at the end was deliberately muted, wasn't it? That's because the message from you is, it's
100%. No job done. Our fans were great all evening. Their fans were really good. Gave their team incredible amount of energy after for the first 10, 15, 20 minutes. For me, our fans have got to do the same for now for our players, 100%. Job not done. We need their energy. I think we deserve a full house at Bramall Lane. I know it's pretty difficult, prices of tickets and whatever, and I totally get that. I think maybe from above there should have been maybe a number put on them, so there was. But the players deserve it. They put a lot of effort into the game tonight, and they deserve, in my opinion, the energy that Bristol City supporters gave their team tonight.
Yeah, just finally touched on Andre Brooks there. He's got a habit, hasn't he, of coming on and making an impact. That must be a great thing for you as a manager.
Yeah, Rian did a great job for us out there. I thought that was the best team to start. Just said on the interview to Sky, I don't think it's old school. We knew they were going to come and press us, and they were going to be on top of us. So we go a little bit longer and into the front men. Front two, I thought, caused them problems all evening. I thought Ty got in. As I said, he'd be a bit disappointed that he's not scored. I thought Kiefer was an handful, physical, linked it, Ty run down the side. And we don't offer an opportunity for them to go and press the life out of us. Even though they're a good technical side, they're really good, and they had a lot of the ball in good areas. it's a risk and reward from their point of view, and from our point of view, it's the way we set up to try and get a result. Apart from the boy hitting the bar with a tremendous effort from distance, there wasn't any really clear-cut chances from their point of view. I think we had the better chances, but of course the talking point is going to be the sending off. But we still had to do a job, and we still had to put them to bed in terms of tonight being clinical and making sure that we were concentrating in terms of the diligent work that we had to do defensively.
Chris, before the game you were very keen to sweep away the negativity about Sheffield United's record in the playoffs historically, but your team didn't play like a team who were in any shape or form bogged down by history, were they? That was an assertive performance. Yeah,
well they shouldn't be, because I think one of the games where I was at, I don't think half of our players were born. So there's been history, but there's been history attached to Newcastle, and they go and win at Wembley. I said before, the club's going to be here for another 150 years, and there's going to be a playoff campaign where they come through it and be successful. So, you know, that's not attached to us. I think the local guys in the press have mentioned that. It's only some old supporters that sort of bring that up, and we're here to make new memories, and our journey's been a good one from 2016. But I've said all along, I've been really consistent with it. You know, I've not looked too far ahead, because you can't do. And as I said, I've been in the game far too long to know that even now, where everybody will be thinking that's job done, it isn't job done. The players have got to produce another really professional performance. They've got to compete. They've got to run around, because you know they've got nothing to lose. They had nothing to lose tonight. They'll come to Bramall Lane and everybody be writing them off, and that's a dangerous situation for us to be. We won't shortcut it in any way. We've got to go absolutely full tilt at this game, and as I said, hopefully we'll be back by 29,000-30,000 Sheffield United fans, and giving us the energy that their supporters have gave their players tonight.
Chris, how difficult was the balancing act in the second half to obviously push home your advantage but not go kamikaze?
Well, we thought the game would come to us if we moved the ball quickly, moved the ball side to side. There was a couple of times I was a little bit frustrated where we tried to force the issue, but we knew that, you know, as the game goes on, we have to make sure that out of possession we're really good. You know, the most dangerous part of the game sometimes is when you're in possession and you're not disciplined in your approach. So we had to make sure we got that balance right. Thought we would open it up, and we have got players that can open it up. If you just do the simple things, when we tried to do the complicated things, then we gave the ball back and turned it over, and it was easy for them. But when we did the simple things, we kept it moving and kept moving them and built momentum and found those opportunities. We've got good players that can capitalise on that. It's a great bit of play for our second goal, Gus, in combination with Gus and Harrison, and obviously the third. Great delivery in, alive in the box. And to get that third goal was really good.
And how important was the Stoke game in terms of being able to try Tyrese and keep it together from the start? And did you do that with one eye on the possibility you might play Bristol at some point in play?
Well, no, we didn't know what could have happened. Anything could have happened on last Saturday, right up to the end. So, no, there was nothing in that. The biggest thing was to get back to winning ways at Stoke. You know, I thought the performance at Burnley was pretty strong. We conceded some poor goals, but, you know, it wasn't one-way traffic against a team that's, as we all know, it's got 100 points and not conceded that many goals and not got beat for 6 months. But I thought it was a strong performance. Thought we were back to our old self. We were competitive. We played when we had to, and we tried to win the game of football. And it was really important, Stu. The last two games were right up there, giving minutes to players, of course, to rest players that needed to be rested, but to make sure that we were really positive in our approach at Stoke and at home to Blackburn. I was delighted with our performance on Saturday. I think we did enough to win that game of football, to get into the 90s, as we talked about. But the reaction from Burnley has been really good by the players. There's been a real energy and a real focus about their approach to everything, whether it's coming to work, whether it's the training sessions, and maybe the advantage of resetting pretty quickly and getting his heads around what we needed to do was good for us and good for everybody. But we've still got to go and do the job tonight, which we have done. professional performance, and we're going to have to go again on Monday night. Quick turnaround, and it's really important that we're clear in our objectives. What our wish is, of course, is there. It's our plan, as you've seen, but you've got to go and execute it, and we've executed it tonight. We've got to go and do the same on Monday night.